don't remain humble or try and stay humble, life will just humble you anyway, in one way or another. If all of a sudden people stop believing in Bitcoin and people stop buying it, then where's the value?
For different sectors of crypto, and the way I do it is a new asset class compared to everything else, so there is going to be a lot of volatility. What we do know is we don't know. Welcome back to Take a Seat. Guys, we talk about mindset, we talk about entrepreneurship, and we talk about business. On our last episode, we had Denelva, and what a guest she was. She was empowering a lot of women out there and a lot of women who want to get into business. I want to stress the fact that I talk a lot about mindset on this channel. I know everybody wants to watch a podcast and the first thing they want is, where's the money bit? How do I make money? How can I copy this? But what people don't actually teach you is how to handle success, how to handle when you get failures, and, what do I do when shit hits the fan? So it's just as important to look at someone's journey, because you see where they have failed and how they have bounced back and what are they doing differently to somebody else. And maybe you might resonate with a certain somebody and saying, actually, I understand the way this person does it. And maybe that's all it takes, that little spark. Today's guest is, one of the biggest guests we've had already. He dabbles in Bitcoin, he dabbles in real estate, and he also has got his own company. I believe it's the 5 a.m. Club, which he's going to, tell us more about. But without further ado, let's introduce Dee Ludlow.
I appreciate it,
Did I
mate.
pronounce that right?
That's right, mate. That's
Okay,
right now.
wicked,
Thanks
man.
for the invitation. It's good to be here.
Look, I just literally came across your profile and I just dropped you a quick message and you were quite responsive and you were like, let's do it.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I know we touched base at Savoy's event.
Yeah.
And then, I think you can quite quickly, you gather the energy from somebody from their social media. And I like the stuff he was putting out. And I thought, why not? Let's do it.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. Have you come from far today, Dee?
Nah, so yeah, I've stayed in Kensington, so it weren't too far. It's all good.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Do you like the high life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I say who doesn't, but not everyone. But yeah, I do. I enjoy it.
Could you easily stay in somewhere that was a little bit less, like, I know you have money now and you're successful, but could you go back to just like a normal little 2-bedroom flat if you had to, like, or do you feel like you're missing out?
No, I think it's important. I think to practice gratitude, because there's no smooth sailing journey anyway. And if I have to do it, you have to do it. I don't think anyone can become too good, like, not to fall back. Anything can happen, right? You sometimes you make decisions, they're the wrong decisions, and then you end up falling back down the ladder a lot quicker than it's going to take to go back up it. So if I had to go back to that growth phase, then I enjoy it. I love the chase. So
Yes.
yeah.
A lot of people sometimes when they reach success, they think, that's it, I've made it. And sometimes actually you can see someone's real true colors when they have money, because they all of a sudden feel very quickly that they don't need anybody no more, because it's like, I can talk to you like shit. I don't know if you've ever been around somebody who you can just see they're just money driven, and they're just like, I don't need you no more. I don't need this, that, other. What do you sort of, gauge with that? Because when I'm in a party, for example, the first thing I'll try to play myself down a little bit. And when people even go, what car do you drive? And I'm like, yeah, I just drive a normal car. And just within 5 seconds, you'll know if that person wants to speak to you or not. And if they're gone and then they're trying to move around the room, you can see what their sort of intentions are. I only want to be around you if you've got money, because that gives me a status in my head.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think you can tell when someone, very quickly, if someone has just first managed to get their first bit of success and money, they start acting, not everyone, but people could potentially start acting a certain way the first time they have money. And I think that it would be not that you want to really manufacture this to happen, but I feel that when someone gets money, they lose it, and the second time they get it, I think that's where you really build character, because the first time you get it, you get excited and you start doing usually making stupid decisions, depending on your personality, but generally someone makes a few more stupid decisions. You're not as mature as you would be. You probably lack a lot of business acumen the first time you get money. And then if you do lose it and you get it again the second time around, I think that you're way more cautious. You understand that it doesn't last forever. And if you don't keep working hard or you don't make the right decisions, then yeah, you don't want to go back. And I think that's why failure is so important. I feel that, this sort of victimhood mentality that we're bringing into society, I don't think that's any good for anyone, because there's so much value in failure. And I think that understanding failure at a young age makes you realize that you don't like that feeling. It doesn't feel good. And the quicker you learn to win, and then you realize what winning is compared to losing, not many people are going to choose, and no one's going to choose losing, right? It doesn't feel very good to lose. So I think that, yeah, failure is really important. So if you do get money, you lose it, you get it again. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. What I'm thinking about in my head when you're talking about this is my driving test.
Mm,
And I failed my first time. I was only
yeah.
17, but that's no excuse. I just wanted to go for things soon as possible. And I failed. Second time, I didn't even want to tell my parents because I was like, I'm going to go for a second one. I don't want the pressure. So I went again and I failed again. And the driving instructor's name was Victor. It was like destined. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Victor. I'm like, he sounds like someone from the Adams family or
Yeah.
something. And he looked like this tall guy with, deep eyes. And then I passed third time, but I believe that made me more humble
Mm,
passing third time, and I appreciated it so much more
mm,
than some of my friends. It's like, yeah, I passed first time, I'm amazing. Then 2 minutes later, they've hit their car
yeah.
already because they got a little bit cocky. So it kind of does make sense when you say that.
Yeah, I think that if you don't remain humble or try and stay humble, life will just humble you anyway, in one way or another, and, you know, it's very unlikely. We generally, we fail more than we win in life anyway. That's
Yes.
typically what happens. As long as your wins are bigger than your failures,
Yeah.
then you should do all right. But generally, we test and test and test. That's all you can do in life, right? Is to keep testing and improving, like in small ways, and then eventually it compounds and you become a lot better at something. So I think that because you fail more than you win, you have to remain humble, because no matter how much you want something to work, how much time and effort goes into it, no matter how hard you work, sometimes things just don't go your way. So I think it's important to stay humble anyway, because life will definitely humble you if you don't.
Yeah. One of my mentors first told me is the quicker you fail, the better, because you're going to start learning as quick as possible. Do you know what I mean? You've hit a hurdle. The last thing you want is earn 1 million and then do your failure. You want to do it while you're in your first 100,000, 10,000 sort of bracket first, So that sort of makes sense. D, I'm noticing 5D program on your
Mm,
top. What
yeah.
what what is the 5D program?
Okay, so just quickly on the last thing you said,
Yes.
I think it could be quite valuable for the people
Yeah.
listening. But when you said about failing quick, I think that what's really important if someone's going into the world of entrepreneurship
Hmm.
or whatever, I think that if you fail quick, cut your losses quick and move on.
Hmm.
Don't dwell on losses, because no matter how much time and effort, again, you put into something, if it doesn't work, cut your losses quick and move on. Because what's the point of spending time on something that usually isn't going to go anywhere? So that's just to wrap that up. 5D program is, so my main and core focus is buying businesses. So we buy businesses, we build groups, and then we look to exit those groups in various sectors. So the 5D program was sort of something that came off the back of the 5am Club. The 5am Club was very accidental in lockdown. We were stuck in the house, and I just contacted a few of my friends and said, look, I'm getting a little bit lazy, hanging around the house all day. We can't go anywhere. Nobody wants to work. Even when you're trying to get stuff done, no one wants to work, because everyone was just given time off. So I was like, I need some accountability. Let's do it together. So a few of us jumped on a call. It starts getting shared on social media that people are up at 5am. And then more people join the call, and they become quite unrealistic to have a free-flowing conversation on Zoom. So we started asking people in the group, do you want to talk about something? Let's just do some presentations. And it kind of grew from there, just organically and accidentally. So as time went on, you start to get to know people, and people started asking me if I offered some sort of mentorship or coaching, which I didn't. I was like, no, I don't really do that. Something that I've wanted to do, but probably down the line, not yet. So I kind of just didn't do anything with it. after a while, a good friend of mine, he sort of builds out coaching programs for people like Grant Cardone and people like this. So
Wow.
he's like, you should do this. He's like, this is crazy. He said, because I was helping him with certain things with like crypto business and even property. And he's like, why didn't you teach this? I'm like, I haven't really got a framework to teach. And I've spent like 6 figures on coaching and programs and courses myself, along the way. So I was like, look, I've spent a lot of money on high ticket stuff that I felt like the other side of it and the fulfillment wasn't very good. So unless I know I can actually generate results and is results driven, I don't want to do it. So I need a framework, otherwise I'm not doing it. So as time went on, this is like probably like 12 months went by. I was piecing things together, making some notes of what I could potentially put together. So I started it off by bringing some of my network together, and I was like, let's test the water to see if this will give people some value. So we run like a 5-day challenge called the Money Challenge. People got a lot of value from it, and then they could join a program afterwards, which wasn't a 5D program at the time, but like an academy where it's like, look, we're going to get these people from my network that are experts in what they do. So it was like real estate, it was tax and asset protection, crypto, stocks, it was various forex, different things, just to give people like a bit of an entry to like, what do you want to learn and what what resonates with you and what you want to push and progress with. Off the back of this, I had a few people ask me about M&A and buying businesses because it was, again, what I was focused on. But I was like, I just do it like this. But again, I don't really have a framework. So a few months went by again. I ended up doing another challenge called the Crypto Challenge. And then loads of people wanted to get involved in that because, it was in the middle of a bull market. Everyone wanted to just make money, right?
Yeah.
And everyone had the blink.
Everything was going up there.
Yeah. Everyone had the blinkers on. And then I had people consistently ask me about buying businesses. So I was like, I need to try and put something together. Because I actually sent a friend of mine, well, I met him as a friend through the 5 a.m. club. I didn't know him before. He's like, can you coach me? And I was like, go and join that person's program over there. Mm-hmm. They have a program, I don't. He came back like 3 months later and was like, I didn't really get what I wanted out of it. Can you teach me? I trust you. So I started to put something together. And I was like, let's see how it goes. We'll trial it. It was 2 people, trial it with. And the one that came back to me, we managed to get him a 7-figure business doing about $250,000 a year in profit and for zero money down. Now, I'm not someone who's like pushing zero money down deals. They're out there, whether it's in property or business. And if you can make them work, great. But I'm just looking for generally good businesses, high margins, high revenue per employee, and good infrastructure, management structure, etc. This kind of had pretty much all of it, and you managed to get for no money down. So as you can imagine, the circle then, everyone was like, well, I need to do this too. So the 5D program sort of got birthed, not accidentally, because it was intentional, but it kind of just spiraled because of results. And that's what I really wanted to do, was create something which was very active, interactive, and results driven. So if someone needs support, they get the support, and they can get it whether on a group mastermind call, or if you did one-to-one, then I do less of that now because it takes a lot of time up, but or you can get one-to-one, or there's a support network there of people. And sometimes in our community, someone will post something in the private group and they will just get an influx of messages from other people. By the time I see it, they've given a better answer than I would have given. And so it's really good. We've got accountants, we've got people from private equity, we've got people who are M&A lawyers, we've got people from investment funds, all in this group now. It's just gone crazy.
What does M&A stand for?
Mergers and acquisitions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of our audience don't know.
So yeah, so it mergers and acquisitions. So either when you can merge 2 companies together, kind of like what Elon Musk did with PayPal and I think X.com. Yeah. It's like a stock for stock merger. 2 companies that have some synergy that can grow together. Or if your acquisition is more in a case of acquiring the entire business or part of the business.
Okay. And does 5D like stand for 5 actual Ds that you go off of, or is it just something else can you tell us a little bit more?
So that's a good question. It doesn't mean anything. So because it was 5 a.m. club,
yeah,
I was like, what can I do to make something kind of align with what we're already doing, but like the mastermind side of it. And I like the sort of looking into different dimensions. I'm quite intrigued by a lot of that type of stuff. So I was like, look, 5-dimensional, let's just call it this.
We heard of quantum.
Quantum is
Yeah,
in,
like a different sort of like realm that
yeah,
we are going to be going to, that we should, like, even technology will be going into this to make it even more high tech, or we're going to see things in a different spectrum sort of thing.
yeah. So I love the way. So you know, uh, like I'm an avid like researcher, so I like looking at different ways that why we're here and all that type of
Yeah,
stuff. And I'm not even big on purpose. Like I, I don't think that personally. This is probably completely different to most people, but I don't think that we're here for purpose. I don't think that in life we should focus constantly on what's our purpose. I think that it kind of distracts you from just day to day living. Why can't we just wake up and be like, this is my purpose. I'm just here. Like, and we're going to enjoy ourselves while we're here. Every day is a new day. And we don't know how many days we have left. So
mm,
I don't think that a lot of people, I think, focus on what's my purpose? Why am I here? Where did we come from? And like, I'm interested in all of it, but
yeah,
I don't like dwell on it. So I'm
yeah,
just more like a researcher. So the different dimensions to me, the fact that you see the dimension before you and different things can open up your mind, the pineal gland, etc.,
yeah,
to open up your mind. And the substances that I see people talk about, and I'm like, this is crazy. So
yeah,
that stuff like really interests me, and I also like different, like looking at different parts of the world, and that's one of my goals. Is just at a certain age, I'm just gonna I want to take a year out completely,
mhm.
turn my phone off,
Wow.
and just be like, look, I want to go see the NASCAR lines. I want to climb Machu Picchu. I want to go and see Angkor Wat. I want to go around all the world and see all the different wonders and explore. That's
Yeah, well, that's almost like a reward as well for you,
yeah,
for all your hard work and what you've built. And then it's like, hey, now I'm ready for a little bit of me time and sort of discover a few things that might want to make me happy for a whole year. Like, that's
mm,
beautiful to hear. My granddad always said that, Sean, we're only here for a holiday. Think of
mm,
how long the world's been around. Think about, how long we're actually here for. We're just here for a holiday. We come here for a blip and gone. So enjoy the journey, like, work hard, help as many people as you can, and the happiness comes on the back of that. And he said, like, part of the art of getting is giving. When you
yeah.
give to somebody, you always receive something along the way. It has to happen. Is part of that energy.
And you said then about we're only here for a holiday is so true. And one of the things that um, I've said this previously, but new listeners, so I think
Yeah.
they could benefit from it. And if someone said to you that you had, a timer that you could see on top of your head, and
Mm,
he was counting down to till it's over and your dance is done, um, you would live every day differently. If someone said, "Look, I can tell how long left," you'd probably start thinking about life differently.
yeah.
Now, the crazy thing is, the timer is on our head; it's just
Yeah.
invisible.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
people should decide to, do a lot more of the things that you want to do. Start and like one, practice gratitude, because regardless of where you're at, what your circumstances are currently, just be grateful for whatever it is you have, because over time, those circumstances with hard work and also a bit of luck will change. And I think it's important to, you know, be grateful regardless of where you're at.
Yeah. Deep. What is luck?